Alright, this video I'm going to show you how to find the vertex of a parabola. And I've got 4 examples here. So let's just look at each one of them. So you can, if you notice, the first 2 examples are in one form and the last 2 examples are in another form. So what we've got here is if your parabola is in the form f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k, your vertex is just hk. And if your parabola is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, then your vertex, the x coordinate, is minus b over 2a, and the y coordinate is f of minus b over 2a. Okay? Now, don't let this confuse you. I'll explain this more when we get to these two, when we get to these examples. But first, let's look at this. All right. So, in our first example, well, let's look. You can see it's in this form. Here's h, and here's k. Okay, so our vertex would be what? Well, h is 3, because so we've got x minus h. There's h. So that's 3. And then we've got plus k, k is 7. And so the vertex is 3, 7. Okay. Well, let's look at the next example. Now, the vertex here, notice our problem is f of x equals 3 times x plus 4 squared minus 5. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how this works, and then I'm going to tell you just the easy way to remember it. Well, first let's just do the easy way to remember it. So, and I'll go ahead and write the vertex. Well, the vertex is negative 4, negative 5. Okay, so basically what you do is your h, okay, the h is going to be the sign opposite of what you see here. So if you see a plus here, it's going to be a negative. Okay, just like up here, remember this vertex here was what, 3, 7. See, this is a minus 3, it's the opposite sign. And then remember the k is going to have the same sign. So you can see this is plus 7, this was a plus. See how this is minus 5? It was minus 5. Now, let me show you how that works. All right, so remember our formula is this. Okay, there's your formula from up here. So what we would need to do is make this look like this. So this would be f of x equals 3 times x. Now see, we need a minus sign here because of our formula. Well, but we have a plus 4. Well, how do we get the plus 4? So we make it minus negative 4. You see that? Because the minus and the minus is the plus. So here's your x, here's your minus sign, and you can see now that h is negative 4. Okay. And then in our formula we have a plus, so we have plus, but we need a minus 5, so that's going to be plus negative 5. So now you can see in our formula there's the plus, and k is minus 5. And see, if you simplify this out or rewrite it, this is what x, a minus and a minus is a plus, so there's your plus 4, squared. And then we've got what? Plus a negative 5. Well, a plus and a minus, there's your minus 5. But like I said, the easiest way to remember it is if whenever you're doing the h, it's the sign opposite what you see, and the k is the same sign. That's the easiest way to remember it. But, you know, if you forget that, you can always write it out like I just did, you know, the stuff I'm erasing here. All right, so now let's look at this. So we've got f of x is equal to x squared minus 6x plus 2. All right, so the vertex, let's get our vertex. So I need the x coordinate of my vertex and I need the y coordinate of my vertex. So let's find the x coordinate first. Well, that is what? That's minus b over 2a. Well, in this problem, we can see that a, that's the number in front of x squared, that's 1. And b, that's the number in front of x, that's negative 6. Okay? A and b is just like when you were finding a, b, and c using the quadratic formula. Okay? Same thing. All right. So let's just plug it in. So I've got negative 6, okay, negative b over 2 times a. And so that's going to be 6 over 2, which is 3. And so the x coordinate of my vertex is 3. All right. Now, let's look at this y coordinate. This looks confusing, but don't let it be confusing. All this means is that you take the x coordinate and plug it into the function. Okay? Think about it this way. If you had y equals x plus 3 and you were making an xy table, and let's say you've got these values for x. Okay? See, this right here would be the coordinate 0 and then what for y? Well, how do you get that? You plug this in for x, right? And so we get 3. Okay, and the next one, you just plug it in. And so this would be the 0.03, this is the 0.14. So don't let this mess you up. All you do, you've got the x coordinate of a point. What do? You plug it in to get the y coordinate. Okay, just like you did when you were doing a xy table to graph linear functions. Okay, so that's all that means. And so now I've got f of 3, so plug it in, I get 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 2, so that's 9 minus 18 plus 3, which is negative 9 plus 3, which equals negative 6. And so there's the vertex for this one. Okay. All right. So now let's look at our last example. All right. So we've got f of x equals 2x squared plus 2x plus 3. And we need the vertex. Okay, we need our x and y coordinate. All right, so, well, let's see what we've got. We've got a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 2. See, there's a, there's b. All right, so let's plug it in. So minus b over 2a. So that's going to be negative 2 over 2 times 2. So I plug the 2 into here and this 2 into here. So that's going to be negative 2 over 4, which is negative 1/2. All right, so this would be negative 1/2. All right. All right, so now we need the y coordinate. So we're going to take the x coordinate, plug it in. So I've got f of negative 1/2 is 2 times negative 1/2 squared plus 2 times negative 1/2 plus 3. All right, so this is going to be 2 times 1/2 times 1/2 is 1, or negative 1/2 times negative 1/2 is positive 1/4. And then that's going to be minus 1 plus 3. And so this is going to be 1/2 minus 1 plus 3. All right, so, well, let's just go ahead and write this out in case you're unfamiliar or you forgot how to add, subtract fractions. So that's going to be 1/2 minus 2 over 2 plus 6 over 2, right? And that's over 1. Got to get a common denominator of 2. And so that is going to be what? That's -1, so that's what? 5/2. Yep. And so this is going to be 5 over 2. I just did that real quick in my head. I believe it's... Let me check, because I know the comments I'll get if I did it wrong in my head. Yep, it's 5/2. Alright, so that's how you find the vertex of a parabola. Check out my other videos. Give me a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.